We're telling you why investigators have ruled a controversial death of a mother accidental. This is a case that has gained social media outrage and national attention.
Going behind the headline of the government shutdown, many federal workers didn't have enough money to last those 35 days. The 3 steps you need to take to save money and reduce stress.
A controversial tweet by a former Atlanta radio host has Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms firing back.
Live from the 11 Alive studio, Morning Rush starts now.
Soggy, to say the least. You're looking at a live picture of Georgia's Rome, where the rain has been coming down all morning long. A couple lightning strikes up there as well, but now that's subsiding. We still have pockets of heavy rain, so you got to be careful leaving your home this morning. We're going to get a check on the traffic in just a minute. But of course, we want to start you out with that weather. It's nasty out there. Yeah. Nasty. You guys made it in. You're safe. That's good. Hopefully you'll stay safe as well. Let's get right to it. We start you out with the Rome area. You can see just heavy pockets of rain moving right on through Rome. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. That's leading to what we call some flash flooding because the rain is training in the same areas. Of course, the lightning is starting to die down. The heaviest rain right now well over toward the east. You can see it over toward Red Creek. Just a few lightning strikes associated with it. Extends down through just to the east of Sandy Cross, right on down through Commerce and Jefferson. Some moderate pockets out there as well. You see it over toward Calhoun, Adairsville, right along I-75. So coming in from there, coming into the city, you may run into a couple problems there as well. You may have to slow down. The rain will continue. You can see it back off to the west of us, continuing to train right on in, which leads us to that flash flood watch that remains in effect through tonight. All of North Georgia, including the metro area, just south over toward Clayton County into Coweta County. We will continue to see that for today, and the flood watch remains in effect as well because the ground is already saturated and we really have no place for that rain to go, so it's going to begin to pile up. Speaking of the roadways, let's go out live now with Jerry Carnes, who's out in the Thunder Truck on 400.
Good morning, Chesley McNeil. Georgia 400, always messy this time of day. It is extra messy today. You are looking at a live picture of one of 3 accidents that we've come across. Georgia 400 southbound. This is right before Holcomb Bridge Road. A couple of cars tangled here. We saw another wreck up at 400 southbound and Windward Parkway. They actually cleared that one right as we were pulling up on it. So it is a messy morning here. There's a look at the cars traveling south on 400 as they head into the city of Atlanta. We've actually got a break from the rain right now, Crash Clark, but I bet there are more accidents out there.
Absolutely, there is, Jerry Carnes. As a matter of fact, that's where we're going to kick things off. We're going to start talking about Georgia 400 because, as you mentioned, we've got plenty of problems out there, including 400 southbound right near Windward Parkway, the wreck Jerry just mentioned, which was cleared up. That's the good news. 400 southbound at Haynes Bridge, another wreck. You see your delays there, about 23 miles an hour coming down from 141. And, of course, the problem he was sitting at Holcomb Bridge. This is still a thorn in our side. 285 northbound. This wreck at Bolton Road just won't go away. Now those delays are stretching back beyond I-20 on that west side perimeter. Speaking of I-20, we had wrecks I-20 outbound near Langhorne. Another one at Windsor Street, still trying to clear that one up. If you're traveling anywhere near the downtown connector, things are filling up northbound as folks make their way up from 166. So be prepared. Look at that. That's I-85 at Gwinnett County, folks. It is definitely a full house and a soggy start. Sheba?
Case closed. The controversial death of a mother found dead outside an overnight house party ruled accidental. But the family attorney and dozens on social media are not buying it. Naima Abdullahi live in the newsroom with the latest.
Sheba, the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office announced they're finally closing the case because investigators believe there is no evidence of foul play in the controversial death of Tamla Horsford. The 40-year-old mother of 5 became the center of attention after she died at an overnight house party. Several people were at the house and they were drinking. Now, the Sheriff's Office says her injuries were consistent with an accidental fall, ruling out foul play. We got a hold of the toxicology report and it shows she had Xanax in her system along with marijuana and a high blood alcohol level of 0.238, nearly 3 times the legal limit. And an attorney for Horsford's family says he will review the evidence and meet with the Sheriff's Office before deciding to ask for any further investigation on this controversial case, Sheba.
All right, Naima. Pulled to safety. Take a look at this dramatic video right here. It shows fire crews saving 2 hikers from a rising creek in Walker County. It took them about an hour to rescue the pair from the swift-moving waters. The hikers initially got stranded Tuesday night as weather conditions worsened, and they couldn't get a strong enough cell signal to call for help until yesterday. But some other top stories we're following on this Thursday morning. Officer attacked. Body cam capturing a suspect repeatedly hitting Gainesville police officer Stephen Lucius in the head with his handcuffs. The officer tried to arrest Eric Pitts for criminal trespassing last weekend. Pitts is facing numerous charges while Officer Lucius is recovering.
I'm Tracy Potts in Washington, where the long-anticipated Mueller report, the Russia investigation report, could be ready soon. Several government sources telling NBC it could land on the Attorney General's desk as early as this week. But will it be made public? Federal rules say he doesn't have to. William Barr, the new Attorney General, says he wants this to be as transparent as possible, but the public could end up just seeing a summary. President Trump says he's hands off. He's leaving that decision up to the new Attorney General.
I'm Jay Gray in Rome. This morning, Pope Francis convening an unprecedented summit here dealing with sexual abuse by the clergy. Almost 200 leaders of the Catholic faith from around the world are at the Vatican and will take part in this 4-day summit. Also gathered here, survivors and advocates. In fact, each session of the 4-day meeting begins with a videotaped message from a survivor.
And that is your Rush Block at 6:36. All of your news, weather, and traffic in 5 minutes or less. We want to turn now to a story really picking up steam online. Atlanta's mayor clapping back after a well-known radio host posts a tweet referencing slavery. Liza Lucas has the details from the bridge. And Liza, this got personal for Mayor Bottoms.
Very much so. In fact, she quickly let it be known that her grandmother was the child of a slave. And that's not all she had to say about this controversial tweet from Radio Hall of Famer Neil Bortz. You can take a closer look here. Bortz posting this meme that has an image of slaves. And the question, can anyone remember what slave owners did for their slaves? They housed, fed, and it continues on to say, and only taught them what they needed to know. And then at the bottom of the meme, it says, exactly like the current Democrat Party. Well, here's what the mayor clapped back with in response, again saying her grandmother was the child of a freed slave. In addition to raping, starving, and beating them, they also separated them from their families. Sound familiar? A lot of people responding to her and saying thank you for speaking up. She got quite a bit of response on her Twitter feed. You can see images like that have been popping through, and we've been monitoring as well. Now, we did reach out to Bortz, who told 11 Alive that the tweet stands on its own, and we'll continue to monitor to see if the mayor's office has anything further to say in regards to this. You can stay up to date, 11alive.com, and as always, use that hashtag MorningRushATL to let us know how this sits with you. Fran.
All right, let's get into what's going on in other news. I'll reserve my comment on that one. Samsung is shaking the market this morning after introducing its newest array of smartphones. Remember yesterday when we talked about those folding phones? Well, the Galaxy Fold is making a lot of noise and will cost you almost $2,000 when it's released in April. And the company also unveiled new Galaxy S10 phones that offer upgraded cameras, screens that cover the front of the device. Ooh, the new phones are dropping this spring. I will never buy a phone that is over $2,000. That's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, let's move on. So, you ever dreamed of flying down the highway with no speed limits? You know, cruising like you were on Germany's Autobahn? Well, it could soon be a reality if you head to California. A newly proposed bill in the Golden State would add 2 lanes to some highways and remove speed limits for those driving them altogether. Now, it's meant to offer an alternative to a high-speed rail system and cut greenhouse gases. Now, we know we already have some super speeders on Georgia 400. The Forsyth County Sheriff Office has gone as far as to say the highway reminds him of a NASCAR straightaway. But I want to know what you think. Would adding lanes with no speed limit whatsoever make Georgia's traffic better or worse? I already got my answer, Liza, but what are the folks saying on our Facebook page about this one?
When we talk about driving in Atlanta, we always know we're going to get good response on that one. Recipe for disaster is what Danny has to say. Moving on to Josh, who says, who even goes the speed limit? If you don't go faster, you will get hit. And he's not the only one making that comment. Ricardo also saying, it can't get much worse. I don't think it's fast driving that causes accidents. It's the slow drivers in the way. And then Phyllis is the one saying, not a good idea. She's saying there should be a lot more accidents if this were to come into play.
I agree with that. Slow drivers do cause, the drivers who just stop in the middle or go really slow in the middle of the highway, yeah.
Yeah, especially trying to get on an interstate, people doing 35, 40 miles an hour. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind when you think about unlimited speeds are the German Autobahns, where some of the higher end cars are out there, and they've been doing that for years. There are wrecks. They are catastrophic at times when you're going speeds up to 150 miles an hour. I don't know where we would put lanes like this here.
Yeah, do we have the infrastructure?
We really don't, because, I mean, we're still building express lanes, and of course they're regulated. You'd have to get a stretch of road, say maybe I-20 heading out to Augusta past Social Circle and heading out that way. Yeah, way out there. But still, it's two sides of every argument. You get the speed if you're responsible, but there are going to be those that are not responsible, that have either been drinking or just messing around, younger folks or whatever, and tragedy will ensue. I'm not for it at all.
One lane?
Not even one lane.
I would love it.
Me too.
Well, here's one thing. All right, let's say this then. Let's say you're in the unlimited speed lane. You're doing 100 miles an hour because you think, hey, I'm going and here comes guy behind you who wants to do 160.
Tailing you. So you got to move over.
And he,
you got to move over.
Yeah, you know how quick that's going to happen?
But wouldn't that be the same as somebody going 50 and 70?
Yeah.
Because 70 is the limit.
But those are safer speed limits than 100 and 160. This is going to kill many people.
You ever look in your rearview mirror and somebody coming up on you doing 160? You know how many seconds you have to react to that?
Yeah.
One lane.
And they go around.
They
go around you. They zip through the traffic, right? They create their own lane.
Y'all have fun with that. Fran and I will be sitting right over here.
I would love it. I know there are safety
absolutely.
repercussions, but I would love it.
Sheep and I be on that one lane.
Yeah.
You just want to sleep more.
I got my own lane at 3-something in the morning.
Yeah,
that's true. We all have that.
That's true. Still ahead, folks. A major live action show is coming to the A this weekend. Yep, how you can see your favorite Marvel Universe characters. That is next in the A Scene.
And unexpected circumstances like a government shutdown can happen at any time. We've got the 3 steps you need to take so you're not caught off guard if your paycheck suddenly stops.
All right, we're looking at rain, folks. That's all I can sum it up to today. The lightning at least has begun to subside, but we'll have some moderate pockets around as we head through much of the morning.
Yeah, that rain is not boding well for the roadways here. Quick shot of the big 3, even though they're conditioned yellow on 75, 85, and 400. Let me just show you a little bit of 85 right there. That is just no fun at all. All right, if you love all things football, boy, do we have a place for you. Tomorrow on Morning Rush, we are road tripping to a very popular place, the College Hall of Fame in downtown Atlanta. Look at that one-handed catch, baby.
Very nice.
Woo! Thank you very much.
Good job.
Yes! Yeah.